serious it is. But mama e mem follow for akwata ya mwele nunko mole molfa sukuta jaban traffic light in Gambia. Okola ala safola satarot. Mo bota Gambia, that is the suspect. Usenu bota Gambia that jululung. But kabra for the jululung, I for the gara so that Jakarta tiol leninga ko Gambia no be muntola sin sambadame ala foro. So wali abulandi Jakarta kono ya samate mama ya. Andala foro da ko kabra nya boyta kan. Ako mole ko ninga mata kula. Wala mka ay kukuru like. Instantly Usenu kaya ko ha nga mole fa police for la fa Gambia. So Usenu nata fa ko lafte Barrow le call ni. Adama Barrow president no ya call ni. Pura mbalal. So this point menga amen, so I just want us to dissect this one properly. Mama mo menga lon kaya mo fa o borta banko kan atata fo Casamance ay ñinin karoke Gambianol men bebe Casamance sa fono Gambianol men bebe jululung Jakarta driveol ma samba moya bari ya samba mama leya. Secondly, nata jelo ko on nga melong government fananga mem fo wolem ko ila press conference ko this man Usenu mu rebelol tinu. He fought in the Casamance MFDC separatist tournament. So, nimmo mengalon ko rebelo le matinu ay kelo kenu Casamance le. Certainly wo na bota banko kan mo menga kuge koma ay mo fake. Ngamro beta borla ta rebelo li abenunda because already I train you. But amanta mo moya foite ando ngalan ko well no disrespect but ning moye kuke mo mengalon kay mo fa kanata from turntable according to the initial story nga memwe mo mamutano because I kidola fa fonyo kon mol mem mo mutano at turntable muso ete visitor mengalon kay tele sokon. How can you apprehend such a dangerous person? That is another question. But before ngata, what we understand, this Mama Jabi iko e musu sabatero lem atelem ani Adama Barrow la sister e ka fo menye ko Maimuna Barrow korka, and there is another lady called Mama Jane. So ni musu sabo le muteroti ni Mama Jabi, Mama Jaju, and Maimuna Barrow korka wa Barrow la sister nil muterole. These are the three people, you know, many along go to lekata. So at least you know the background or muso in a relationship. So coming back to the issue, Mama manke moti mengalong ka be sabatirin jululung le ala foro tata hewolaji. So Jakarta tiol ya lo nyaadi le ko nimu Gambianol ti ya o Jakarta tiol men baby de ya lo nyaadi le ko nimu Gambianol ti ima inata sika ya sama mama be steering dame luntamalem. How do they know ko this is a Gambian? And comme nga men funu ndorong Usenu fana ngalo nyaadi le ko Mama e Adama Barrow la contact sotole. Because akaile ko ha okay Adama Barrow call ni pra yam fay. Useni yalo nyaale ko Mama e Adama Barrow no mbasole. So Mama fana wulte o nyaaldron ako ay korka call wala Barrow la sister. You know. So these are some of the things. So musonyi na stories you know, it did not just Adam. Because, for example, ning moebo kuke, let's say even in Zigansor, and in Boro and I for the turntable draw. I got taxi driver le ko alin samba Senegale yajam. Ala be kola Senegale jamala be Gambia. For example, let's even say Bruce B akoyeko moe crime committed another wrong. Akoyeko alin samba after tonde ba ko taxi driver le kalin samba Senegalais ya Bruce B. Man of Falca understand. So anun be alan ko Senegal jamale be Gambia. So ibasi kanu la nyaari le ka samba Senegalais ya mengalon ko onata hewol la Gambia. Membe Bruce B anata hewol la Bruce B. Just an example. Does that really make sense? So, this is, I think the lady should, police should even question her, or an independent body should go look into this issue, because a la story dal, it did not really make sense. Because Jakarta will be I've never been to Jululung, but I know Jululung population is not 100 people. Even normal Gambian village setup, akatami mo kemola. So how did Jakarta will the mamalo? And Adebe such a dangerous man arrest la nyadile. Menga mo fula fa, a Canada turntable, more bemaji. Everybody tried to arrest him at Kilo 5, according to the initial report we hear. So that is it. So going forward, because I even had to listen to her a la interview I menke, na government spokesperson also Lamoille, and I listened to the press conference. So I just note down a few things here. So, government spokesperson in Memphis, Adoko suspecting, was a security guy. Mengalonko, he wanted to kill dozen people, half of a dozen people. Mengalonko more of PIU, ako, your surveillance, over surveillance, like PIU, less checkpoints and other places and so on. So that is one thing. But like, the government also, the press conference, as it was also mentioned there, if what they said, like he is a rebel, he fought in the Casamance War, how comes nim kabra for the Casamance wrong, adunda Casamance I border cross wrong? Abe borrele, not at the moment, because we know what happened with the junglers when they left. They didn't go to any of their relatives. We are intercorrelated to Senegal. Mbe badung soto jele. Asanto Sade Olembang, a capital Olembang, we all have relatives in Senegal. So, Kabrin Jongla Sol Borta, Hanibi Mungalone, there were even reports most of them are hiding in Guinea-Bissau. Some of them are in Casamance, fighting in the MFDC rebellion. So we know that. But this situation is a different one. So nada moy fananko come like the same thing them ala brother men for come ala fatala abading le call there and so on, but Amanda than in Jululung and so on. But why Mama Jabi? Of all people, why Mama? Police or fananko they found gun. Okay, he was in possession of a gun. But imafu moleko 4 kidole ay faro ko labang or not, because in Memphis, they recovered so many people from the crime scene, according to what they said. But Gambian Journalist Omar Wally, about that gun. You can see the reaction of the Deputy Inspector General of Police, and throughout police let the second Deputy IGP, very arrogant person, try to disrespect journalists. Be careful. Information is powerful. Information is dangerous. If a man, he's even struggling to pronounce certain words. This guy, they need to watch him. So he was even, because government that is appealing, how do you expect it? You are not a journalist. You are not qualified. Among subject-verb agreement, you even struggle with that. Who are you that journalists will take their story to you to verify with you? All what they have to do is to call, and if they have any information, to call and ask for clarification and questions. But we know sometimes they are unwilling. Sometimes what they do, they write on their Facebook pages. So you want every journalist in that country, many information also. For example, somebody are saying it was a Mark gun, pistol that was used. Like the National Security Advisor, it was a pistol that was, he was in possession of the pistol. Deputy IGP Fananko, he was in possession of the pistol long time ago. But they did not tell us the mark of that pistol. So that is something we really need to know. Because if you know Kido Nyusoto Revelo level, you should be able to tell us the mark of the gun and so on. And Deputy IGP, you know, he was emphasizing how, rumors, let them not spread false news. Who is spreading false news here? If you don't do your investigations properly, why are you worried about journalists who are reporting? Because if you have a situation where you are not explicit, or where you are not truthful to the public, or people have doubt or cast doubt on your credibility and your trustworthiness, of course, this is what they will do. And journalists don't have time. You are not their editor. You are not their whatever. For you to, this is kind of, Mzafon is more of censoring their story. Journal, come and verify with us. What did you malo start the Gambia? Gambia journalists or stories of it? Kata police ya foko ha, ninketa la koni man. Things when. So, another thing for Mengalonko, people are more by overlooking. Look, Hanekata Polo Niata first time. Jama ne kunobung Mafo Buga for the body, sometimes there is a struggle there. So we also want to know, since he was in possession of gun for a very long time, but how can ill-trained, ordinary civilian just come out and shoot two people just like that and escape and shoot a third person? That must be a very trained person. Just look at this. Let's look at the whole issue there. If you give a pistol to somebody who doesn't know how to operate it, instantly shoot and kill them, because you must not, where I live in America here. I have seen, well, police put on helmet. They put all the time, make a is a life jacket, because they know that is the most sensitive part. So how can this man shoot? So we want to know. Well, they said they are doing their investigation, but which part of the body lem ningam nil bundaming fire instantly? Because you must be a well-trained officer or well-trained person to know ko ninga kari bunjang. Along hanu kunonia wadam powder most of the time I'm not downplaying anything. What happened is a sad story. More than 14-year-old. But, and police should also be able to tell at what proximity, come like distant mengalong kaini mulbung. They should be able to know that, because the IGP was there quoting whatever he called malong malaka malo akafanya coded words and so on. You know all those coded words, but nimfela mulfa according to allegedly killed people. But al mamuta no for Gambia is just a sad country. A situation happened at traffic light, Jabang traffic light, but somebody had to cross the border first before you can apprehend the person and bring him back to the country. Unless they tell me that this guy is a SEAL officer, like US SEAL. So, like somebody just writing here, the autopsy report, it should be public, because that's true. We want to know. Laftaka aloneko what is indicated in that autopsy report. Because near mo bunga singoto. Mavada fala, but that might be that injuries, but momenga mol bumpum somewhere. Instantly they die. Rush them to Sukuta and them man for the jere father. That person really he really understand where to get human being. And well, you don't need to be a security expert to know some of this, but I'm not saying he did not do the crime. I'm not accusing him. I'm not saying he did not do it again. But the story is just like a Swiss cheese. We have a problem with the lady who claimed she apprehended the guy. Coming back to this issue, like I spoke about the distance, and which body part. And I think Nata just made mention of that. That is, we just want to see the autopsy report. That is something. And there is one thing that I can say is there is so much inconsistency. Like I said, it's like a story is like a Swiss cheese. It has so many holes. You know, government spokesperson is going there. And I think this police should even question him for this. But, you know, they are not interested because you cannot go and lie. He's lying. He was lying. You know, on a radio, trying to mislead, making unfounded claims. It's a disappointment for even with the interviewer, member interviewer. You know, you call yourself a veteran journalist. You know, again, you sit there, okay, I don't want to dwell into certain things, but, you know, I don't want to ask certain questions. But, you know, but you are allowing somebody to, because you don't want to dwell in there, because you don't want to compromise the investigation. But this liar, calling himself a government spokesperson, is misinforming the whole public. And you journalists, you are a broadcaster, you have a responsibility to put him on the right track, but you fail to do that. There is so much hypocrisy going on in that country. You know, we've seen how some of these people are comfortable, which radio station they go to, and so on, despite their so-called busy schedule. Other journalists will call them, but they will not go there. But there is one place that they are always comfortable running to go there. They will grant their interviews and spew lies all over the country. So I think this thing should stop. There is so much garbage, armchair journalism going on in that country. But they only go after the independent. We have seen how some of the media houses that has been attacked. If this came from somewhere, this would have been a different story. Now, we know Ekamul arrested, giving false information. He should be arrested because he did not only lie, but he's giving false information to the public. Because Memphis is completely, I don't even know how to describe it, because when you look at the press conference, what the Deputy IGP and the National Security Advisor is saying at the press conference, even though they were very uncomfortable, the stories did not match. So that is it. And from within the police, the Gambia police force, I mean, we understand that there is so much disagreement going on. There is so much, not only about this issue, but, you know, the police, they are not on the same lane. I can say it that way. Because some you know, let me give a scenario of during the Ajamila time. You have General Osman Baji as the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambian Armed Forces, and you have General Sol Baji there. So, but even though General Osman Baji is the Chief of Defense Staff and this person is under him, but Sol Baji was more powerful than him. He was the de facto Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambian Forces. So it's the same thing happening in the Gambia Police Force at the moment. Ablai Sanyang is just a figurehead. So it is this guy, the soul guy, the bitter guy, because it's the same guy I had issue with during the press conference at the defense headquarters. That time when the press conference happened, you know, when we wanted to ask question, you know, I think Fengela didn't Kosaba, Abubakar Chen, the National Security Advisor didn't Kosaba, I don't know. Don't take any questions. We are like, but you cannot do that. You cannot come and give us half information. How do you expect us to go and process that information? So, and the same thing they are doing with this thing. But I think what they should do, they should just go and put their house in order. Deputy IGP is acting, you know, in the absence of this guy. But we know is the de facto IGP. Abdullah Sanyang is just there as a figurehead. I've been friend from Alcaro Kumana Kumana questioning Alias somebody that's in. So that is it. But I think the government should just they should just come together before Mobibe champion Charandindi Yalajang. One is sitting at the radio saying one thing, others are on a press conference saying another thing. Another lady on, saying another thing, I think the lady should also be questioned. So Yalo, when such incident happen, they will just arrest suspects and so on. But let's look at this issue critically. Mama la kuonyantaka jube kul, and I think, and I'm gonna call on fellow journalists because you kujamala for ala kuoto ngamelong. Someone even called me this morning and knows this lady when she left Futatuba and come to Gambia, and I dulal min bema all the villages in the Gambia jahankola dinkiral, and I come even I talk with him from stealing with jahankol from la some a jahanka man was telling me about this morning. So I think we should look at the credibility of the witness. Come nga fo nyamen dron ngomenga mo fulafa oba kunle nyine nako rebelolem according to them. So of course he should go to, if he crossed the border, the first thing he is going to think of is to go back and go to because you understand the terrain in Casamance. So William, what government spokesperson is here, and I think the interviewer, so people are waiting. Because you cannot just do this armchair journalism, interviews, somebody just come to your platform. Because there are so many young people, aspiring journalists, and young journalists who are looking up to. And we all know, like they said, trust is a burden. And the most important thing in journalism is credibility. So because journalists only for the credibility that you just pack your things and go home. That is it. So you cannot be in this business for more than decades or so. Like the saying goes, trust comes on foot, but lives on horseback. So small things, some of these small things, many alongo, our people are doing. Some of these broadcasters, so-called veteran broadcasters, are doing. They are not doing justice to the public. Yes, we know you want advertisement from them, but have integrity. Governments will come and go, but Gambia will remain. And like they always said, during William Shakespeare's time, the evil men do live after them, but now the evil men do live with them. We have seen how some media owners are behaving in this country. They flouted the ethics of the profession. We know, because you just want to get advertisement to be on air or to be online. But you have to think about it. Because what most of them fail to understand, look, advertisement alone doesn't keep audience and listeners. They should know that. So it's about trust, it's about credibility, and so on. I work for the biggest media platform in the world, the global broadcaster, BBC, from 2011 up to date. I started working for DW from 2016 to date. So I know how it is. So nobody can tell me. I went to university and I studied journalism. And I did trainings. And DW sent me to many countries in Africa to do journalism. And I work with people, for example, BBC, many along ago, they were doing journalism even when I was not born. So, well, yeah, they know the trade, they know the craft. But Gambia, we have a problem. All what they're looking for, because you don't want to offend some people, because you might think they might withdraw their advertisement and so on. That's why you do that nonsense interviews. We are waiting for next interview with the government spokesperson. I understand he is currently in the US, but the way you do it with other people, you can call him, and I think he should come and retract that statement. Look, the suspect, whatever it is, that is a heinous crime. Nobody should take anybody's life. But again, like I've seen some few people saying, people should not succumb to public pressure to do something. Maybe, and because there are so many doubts here, people more the right person wasn't arrested. The right person is, well, that's what so many people are saying. So you do your investigation and come and tell us. So investigative journalists, I've spoken to some of them this morning, They will also start their investigation, and we will see how this event unfolded and look at the sanity of and the credibility and the trustworthiness of the witness, or the lady who claimed Kuatele Manonyares. So this is something that we will look into, because, you know, as a country, we cannot sit anytime they will just jump and say, like it happened in December. They claim that it was a coup, but the coup they claim, what they claim to be, it did not quite look like a coup. So Hanisai, people cast doubt on that. That case is still dragging. It's almost at the end of the climax. Is at the climax now. So this thing is, police will do their investigation, but journalists too will do their investigation, and we call on the police, let them respect journalists. In as much as you spread your information, but you know that if you want to reach a wider audience, you must come. That's why you call for a press conference. And you cannot call people for a press conference. How we cannot comment on this, we cannot comment on that. Do a proper job. Why the rush? Deputy IGP behavior should be condemned. You know, you cannot, a journalist from QTV, Ayofong address Nyame. You know, the reason why Lafta Sankare Bulomutala during the press conference is the same thing. Look, these are people, many alonko, they were living in exile. They complain about Jamie, there's no press freedom. Of course, you know what happened. People voted against Jammeh. They removed him from power so that they can come home. We can have a proper society. The same people, many alonko, they were calling for press freedom. Under their watch, Pura will write to specific independent, I can say, media organizations, targeting them. And they did not say anything at Ibrahim Sankare Bijele, at Ibrahim Silabi. It's just a sad country, you know. So under their watch, all this nonsense is happening in the Gambia. You know, they're not doing anything. So say Amanda Walla, the spokesperson is misinforming. Imanda Walla, saying they're trying to intimidate journalists. Mbafala journalists Aliba Wulenke, you have no obligation. There is nowhere in journalism that you should go and the man doesn't even have a proper education, so he cannot tell you journalists what to do. He has no education. He cannot even pronounce basic, you know. It's just sad, people who are presiding over that country. You call yourself a national security advisor. You cannot even pronounce assailant. You call yourself a deputy IGP. You cannot even, it's just basic nursery school words. You cannot even, you know, using wrong words, using the wrong terms, and so on. So no journalist has obligation to verify with you people. We know how reluctant you are to give out information. We know this a lot story down. You have a problem with it. But no journalist, well, the ones you control, well, might go. But the independent ones won't go and check with you. Where is that happening? So that is it. Mama Jabilako will be further investigated. Journalists will start digging into her story. We are not saying the guy arrested is not the suspect, but we also, like Barrow said, he will get to the bottom of this. Journalists also will get to the bottom of this. What happened is, you know, it's just unfortunate. But like I said, it's the failure of leadership. If he had reformed the Gambian security, none of these things would happen. Okay, somebody is even saying like throwing a tear gas at armless civilians. But we've seen how Barrow pledged $1 million. That $1 million, if you had put that, given that money to the police to even buy walkie-talkie, I bet NIM police only effective communication, so that the moment they shot this guy, somebody will call at the border and say, hey, mole move al border, so well, and you keep an eye on the border. But there was nothing like that. A country where police will go on checkpoints without even a proper motorbike in most cases. If somebody violates traffic, they cannot even chase the person. They don't even have a button. So that's how they are. That's how vulnerable they are. This case generated attention because but these cases target on the police have been ongoing for a very long time. And the man doesn't care. That is the truth. Barrow doesn't care about anybody in that country. Since he know that he's protected by economy, the rest can go to hell. How many times they have complaints to the core from Makamasile down in Woolly End that, you know, Bandiol Canal Eloy Kunt, Yela Kidok Egg 47 of them, they are more armed than our PIU. Some of them were, you know, were attacked, some of them were wounded, some of them, you know, sustained injuries because of bandits will come at the end, even the borderline, the Sierra North, from Wasu going all the way to Panchang, all that places, they will cross the border and come. Barrow is the problem. Barrow is the cause of all this because he think not a Gambia security arm, they will use it against him. That is his problem. And he is so paranoid. And this is something they should start working on. Like I once told him, Mali had 5,000 French forces. But when people were ready, they kicked the former president Ibrahim Boubacar Keita out of office. So there is no foreign power that can keep you in power. If anybody is telling you that, they are fooling you. When people are tired, they will come out and... Because it is the people. This is not military. When people say... And this nonsense calling people for questioning, they should stop it. And like I did on my Facebook post, Adam Barrow, stop using police. You know, Omar al-Bashir's government came down because of the price of bread. All the time you're calling people for questioning. Gambia is in a very critical situation. There are so many things ongoing there. But we have a president who is a bully pulpit, like one of the former American presidents said. For example, women came out and said, oh, they have a problem, they don't have water. You are going to inaugurate whatever policy, so they can have, and who took responsibility so that you will be president for all, regardless of whether they voted for you or not. So you have an obligation to address their problem. And you know, you is an essential part. And we need water. So if people raise those kind of questions, you should look at it and address it. But because that is not important, it's this and that and that. It doesn't work like that. Go and reform the Gambian security. Put the right people in the right place so that the country can move. Look, hiding behind this economic won't help anybody. You are endangering the Gambian security. The lives of our paramilitary officers, those who are in the traffic, you are endangering their life because they go into traffic without even a proper motorbike or even if somebody comes with a gun, like God forbid, how are they going to defend themselves? But we have seen times without numbers. The only time they value the lives of our PIU is when they're preparing them to go and quell or to go and deal with street protests. That is when they will give them anti-riot gears, they will give them whatever guns, they will give them tear gas, and there will be a standby force. That's what we call the quick reaction force. In case the protesters overpower these people, they will just run there and come and deal with them. So the quick reaction force will be on standby. The vehicle, whatever they call it, the one that carries the hot water will be there. But aside from that, they will just lose these people and say, oh, go and stand in the traffic. So, and I think, sometimes you don't even know whether they're human beings sometimes. Because how they even if I witnessed 3 years just now, and at some point, there was this military officer, I can't remember him, but I will commend him for that. There is this old man, Menarako, he was going into where they were firing tear gas. We were caught up in the middle. Soldier on Arakayako, Bakayako, Bujangeta, stop this, Franco. The man insisted and said he's not going to leave. That was at Joshua. You know, this military officer acted very professionally. He appealed to the guy and said, oh, Bujang Janimbe arrestla. The man insisted. I had to put my microphone down and say, go. Any Ninkana Saba. There's a protest going. He has a responsibility here. But he wants you to leave. Can you leave? And that PIU officer, that paramilitary officer, that military officer, I pulled him, just give me a few seconds, let me talk. The man left. But the only time what they're good at is using force. So that's why even when you talk to most Gambians, they will tell you why they don't even want to give them lift when going to work. When a mul balo cafe. Alal hakilo too. Al nimulia doman. Look, protests are guaranteed in our constitution. But at all, sometimes even the way they deal with crowd, these are not even protesters. You take somebody to court, obviously. And the supporters and loved ones will go there. But if you don't want people to assemble, then stop bringing these trump up charges against people. Stop inviting people for questioning. If you don't want that, if you don't want public to gather, stop all this nonsense calling people for questioning. Because if you call somebody more member, of course, I'm more banal. So let's be careful. I'm talking about the PIU office. Ala Doma. What happened? Nobody's celebrating that. Nobody's saying it should happen because of your past record. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. But I think the police will dig deep and get to the bottom. And we don't want this thing to be like the English we call the red herring, just to get at one person, because we already know that some few people are already under police custody. They invited them for questioning. So, Barrow, be president. You have to be in charge. This is something you don't like. Last time I told you, you don't like it, but you have to be in charge. There is so much lapses in our security. I can confidently say, the same way, it's just sad. The same way the drugs made into their country, who knows? Probably we have tons of guns flooded in our country. Because if someone like the suspect can commit such a crime and cross the border, so like they said, we are not secure. We are not secure as a country. So, investment invest in the security, empower them, reform it, get rid of the rotten ones. It won't cost you anything. You know why you are in trouble? Because you gather yourself with so much rotten people. So unless and until you clear that room, you will be in this mess. So that is it. Mama Jabi, journalists will go further and look into this case, honestly. This is not how it should be. Barrow, he went to the hospital and so on. Well, fine. He's trying to show concern. But I think your concern to the police or government security should be a long time ago. The man who is afraid of his army, he's extremely paranoid to even have this, to even visit a military barracks. The only time, and I'm saying this because I think he even did that because of public pressure. So Willem, Banko be sore jawle. Man ninkol ka men fo Willem dorong keba men juso ba makang nenye kreo katando dara be fono lal. So be careful with the current. You know what is happening. I'm not issuing threats here, but you know what is happening in the sub-region. There are so many people, many alonko. People are frustrated. Anu jaleba ka reka men podro. Onko foreya ka banjel. Focus on issues that will move that country forward. And Senegal is moving. But Gambia is in a state of, I don't know how to describe it. So that is it. And we want the investigators. I hope they will call for another press conference and make things clear. Because somebody cannot sit on radio and just come out and cook up stories. Another person will be at a press conference angry with journalists. It doesn't work like that. So we have a country to fix. This is a learning point. And yalong baro mo man samenti wuldin kol kamen for kujen sina dandan kono buke. You hear words from other leaders from other countries or other people from other regions, and you start using it. It is not in our interest. I'm just giving you an advice as our president. Mali, the Sahel region. I'm not sure if you don't even know what is Sahel. Mali and other countries, they are battling with insurgency and Islamists. France has over thousands of thousands. They could not even deal with their power and everything. They could not even deal with them. The same thing with Burkina Faso. The Nigerian trouble started with Mohamed Yusuf. When they killed him, you see, Nigeria is in trouble. I was in Nigeria in 2018. Dida will send me that was reported then. So I've been to the north and south of Nigeria, from Nasarawa to Port Harcourt to Abuja, all those things. Now I know what is it. And the reason why I'm saying this, Gambia rely heavily on tourism. So this is a serious incident, but it's not a terror attack. If you're hearing other people saying it's a terrorist attack, don't give us image that we don't deserve. It might have an impact, a very negative image on our tourism. Last time, you know, this is a very sad country. Tubabo Natalan said so many things about our Gambia. You know, Gambia is not safe, Gambia is this and that and that. And our people were circulating that video. People don't know the consequences of that. Even Barrow opponents were circulating her. But that is something that is very dangerous for the image of our country. Because when a Tubabo comes, when somebody wants to go to Gambia, you go and Google. You look at the images, you look at the videos and so on. When somebody comes and says, oh, okay, Gambia is not safe anymore. You know how many tourists is going to deprive us? You know what impact is that going to have on our economy? Secondly, stop using this word terrorism, terror attack. Stop using that. We have a security problem in the Gambia.